Happy Self Love Sunday. I am Tarnisha Moe Sass, your host of Self Love Sundays with Sass. I am your certified vision strategist coach who comes every single Sunday so we can talk about all the ways in which you can better your best. Happy Sunday, everybody. Listen, I cannot believe, yes, we're jumping right into it, that we are in the second quarter of the year. And for those of you who've been following for a long time, you know I break my year down into quarters. And quarter two started in April. So my first direct question for you is, how did quarter one go for you? So if you set your goals and you divide them by quarters, that means you have 4 quarters in a year. And so I want you to assess, have you assessed where you are since first quarter? Why is that important? It's important because if you don't know, A, where you're headed, right? That's why we write the goal down. But B, if you've met it and or not met it and why, then it's not, to me, when you do that, it helps you understand, where I need to pivot and or adjust in my goals, right? That's the purpose of this. Listen, the purpose of it is not to look at your goal and say, oh my God, I didn't make, quarter one, and, to look at yourself like, oh, I did something wrong or not wrong. What you want to do is you want to assess where you are so that we make sure that by the end of the year, you reach your goal, right? So if, like we talked about before, if your goal is to make $100,000, that means you need to make 25K per quarter, right? And so what you want to do is, did you or did you not make it? Why? What happened? What specifically happened? Did you not sell enough product? Did you not get enough clients? What specifically happened, and where do you need to adjust, right? And so whether the adjustment looks like more marketing, the adjustment could look like, okay, maybe I need to adjust my goal altogether, because although I stretched myself, maybe I went too far out. What help do I need? Do I need an accountability coach? Am I not holding myself accountable? Because here's the truth about it, right? It's what you do when no one's watching that really determines how far you go. And so I love social media. I think it's great for, your business. I think it's great for building relationships, because truly building a business is building relationships. I think it's great for that. And if you are not working behind the scenes, but just posting, it doesn't work. And what does working behind the scenes look like? What am I talking about when I say work behind the scenes? Do you have a smart plan? Right? Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic? And do you have a time on it? What are you consistently doing every day? Because we are all consistently doing something. Let me just be real, like, we are all consistently doing something. Now, whatever is what you're consistently doing, taking you towards where you want to go, or is it taking away from where you want to go? That's the question. We are all consistently doing something. It's so interesting when people say to me, well, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. Well, here's the thing, it's all relative. You have time for something, but is the things you make in time for the things that are moving the needle towards where you want to go? And having this conversation with somebody like me, it gets interesting because I was a mom. I had a bunch of kids living at home, and all my kids played sports. 2 of them did travel. So we traveled all over the East Coast, one for cheerleading, one for softball. My son played baseball. We traveled for sports or whatever they were involved in. And I still, worked full time. So no, I wasn't the person, that was privileged enough not to work. I worked a full time job. I've been in corporate America now 28 years, and I had my own fitness business back then. So I was teaching fitness in the gym on top of training, because I also competed in powerlifting. So I was able to still accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish. And it's because I had a schedule. My calendar was more, I knew where I needed to be. I knew what time I needed to be there, and I knew where I had extra time. Did that mean some mornings I had to wake up early in the morning? Absolutely. Didn't it mean sometimes at night I had to stay up a little bit later? Absolutely. And I was able to do that. Right. And so when people tell me they don't have time, I say, no, none of us really have time. We make time for the things that we deem important to us. Right. And so for me, I knew my kids one day were going to grow up, just like now, I'm an empty nester. I knew one day they were going to leave, and it was like, well, what is it that I'm going to have for me, to do. So that's why I always had other interests and always pursued other goals. I mean, and nothing takes the place of having them home. Just going to say that. Like, yeah, it's interesting though, because I've been talking to my empty nesters lately. It's interesting though that I've never ever lived alone, and for the first time, like I've been living alone now since like August of last year. And at first, I didn't enjoy it. Right, you just miss them, and then, and then, I love it. I love living alone. I love the fact that I could clean my house and everything is where I left it, and I love the quietness of it. Although my kids weren't loud, we were kind of generally quiet people anyway. It's just like I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of like this empty nester life. Um, it's given me a chance to learn me, and so that's just the thing, right? Learning you, and a part of learning you is learning your schedule. Do you like to get up early? Not everybody likes to get up early in the morning. I know sometimes for people who are uber successful, there are some people who get up and they're up 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And then there are some that are extremely successful and they don't start their day till noon, and they go later in the night, right? And generally depends upon what industry you're in. However, you have to figure out what's going to work best for you, your timeline, and your body, and depend upon where you're going. So that's why I do all this assessing of, what happened in the first quarter. I know first quarter was hard for a lot of people. It was hard for me, y'all, just being completely real. And I'm able to come to say, even as a coach, that I didn't meet the goals that I set for myself. And so I had to get back in the lab, and I had to pivot, and I had to change directions. And it's working for me now. And so the part of what I wanted to talk about today is in the assessing is, what do you do in the wait? What do you do when you have these goals and you're selling products and you're going after clients, and you didn't meet the goal and the numbers that you wanted to meet? And so what I decided to do is, I always am the personal development person. So to me, when I'm not meeting something, I get back to working on me. And so for some of you, I am Eric Thomas, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, is one of my mentors, as well as Tony Robbins. So I got back into my personal development. I'm actually, one of the reasons why I dress the way I am right now is because after this, I'm actually doing life mastery right now with Tony Robbins. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I understand that as I become better, then when the time comes for me to get on whatever platform to do the things I'm going to do, and or it's time for the client to come in, I'm 10 times better than I used to be. So therefore, I'm able to provide better service. That's what it's really all about. When I go into diving into me, it's because I'm doing it to be able to provide better service to my clients, right, as they hire me out. So not only do I personally coach, I do workshops, I facilitate workshops, as well as I do speaking, right? So all of this development that I do on myself, it's the understanding, and I want to preface this right. What do you do in the wait? What do you do in the wait? In the wait, you grow yourself. You become better. You work on your personal development. What does working on personal development look like? That means that could be you growing stronger in your faith. That could be you working on your fitness. That could be you working on your skill set, right? So that's what you do in the wait. What are some of the ways that you can do that? Some of the ways that you can do that is picking up a book. Some people will say, and I'm just going to say it, some people are like, well, I can't invest in, these programs, or I can't invest in a coach. Let me tell you something. It is your mindset and what you're saying is the reason why you don't. If you really want something, you're going to go and do it. How do I know? Why can I say that? Because I was a 322 a month welfare mother at one point in my life who figured out how to buy $100 shoes from Macy's. Like, I've lived this life enough to know that when somebody truly wants something, they can go after and get it. And because I'm not speaking from a space of, oh, I have it now. No, I never, like, if in terms of what people would think, had it, I just said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to invest in myself. And every time I've made the decision to invest in myself, I've grown financially, right? As well as personally, as well as spiritually, right? So, because it's all tied together. So it's, if you're waiting to so-called have it, you're never going to have it. You just have to take the initiative and the steps, if you are a true believer, and have the faith to say that when I invest in myself this amount of money, I'm going to be able to 10x myself, right? Even if 10x in yourself means I'm just learning how to believe in me. What a lot of what it is people just don't believe in themselves. I didn't believe in me in the beginning. So going to these programs, if for nothing else, it taught me to bet on me and to believe in me, right? And some people be like, well, I do believe in myself. Well, if you truly believed in yourself, it would be nothing stopping you from going ahead and investing in whatever it is that you need to take you to your next level. Because we cannot do it alone, right? So everybody, listen, every successful person I know, they have a system of success. And that system of success is something that I actually have for myself now. So what is a system of success? They have a coach, a mentor, a therapist, a community group. They're avid readers, and they spend majority of their time in personal development that they do doing anything else, right? That's a system of success. And why are those things important? Number one, having a coach in your life helps you with accountability. Most people's problems is not that they're not smart enough, not that they can't do it, is that they have nobody holding them accountable for the hard things. See, the things that come naturally easy to you, you're going to do that anyway. Right? This comes naturally easy to me. Like speaking, this comes naturally easy to me. Helping people comes naturally easy to me. Coaching comes naturally easy to me. The hard things, which is the behind the scenes things, the website development and putting together the systems, those are the things that are truly hard for me. So I need a coach to hold me accountable for those things. They are hard. So having a coach for the hard things is important. If you are somebody who is a procrastinator, which only means that you are fearful of either success or fearful of failure, because that's most times why people procrastinate, right? Having someone hold you accountable, which means a coach. And why pay somebody? People are like, why should I pay somebody to hold me accountable? Because you haven't done it. Like if you could do it, you would have done it. Right. And if the people who are in your life, right, for free could have held you accountable, it would be done. But the truth of the matter is it becomes important because of the simple fact that you cannot walk it out by yourself. And when you start learning to invest in yourself, it pushes you to another level. When I paid the first time I paid $10K for coaching, you best to believe I'm present, I'm attentive, I'm learning, and I'm teaching everything that I learned. And the reason being is because I invested that into myself. It makes you look at things different. Listen, when I $5,000 programs, 10K programs, $1,000 programs, yes, I've done them. And we'll move into my next level for 2025. Right. And I spend that money because I understand the ROI on it. And see, here's the thing about return on investment. Sometimes it's fast. And then sometimes it's a little bit longer. But what you do in the wait is going to determine whether you win. I'm going to say it again. What you do in the wait is going to determine the win. Are you going to quit? Are you going to be the person that pivots? Are you going to be the person that say, I can't do it alone. I'm going to invest in myself and stop looking at everything as a scam. The truth is your mindset is a scam. I said it. Your mindset that continues to hold you back. Your mindset that continues to say, oh, people just want my money or my hard earned money. Listen, you're not investing into those people. I had to learn this for myself. I wasn't investing into them. I was investing into me. When I hired my coach, I wasn't investing in them. I'm investing in myself. It's how you look at things. It's your perspective. And sometimes you need a coach and to invest in yourself just to shift your perspective, to see it differently. Because a lot of times what's holding us back is the way we are perceiving things that are happening in life. We pray for something and ask for it, and then we figure out we have to pay for it. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. It should be free. What? Really? It's very interesting. right? So these are the things that if you start to look at while you're in the wait, it's going to change the game for you, right? And so what did I do until I got to the point of being able to invest in, the 10K and above program? I read books. If you go back and look on my videos, I've put up all the books that have helped me develop and get to the next level. Whether it's audio book or reading books, listen, in the areas that you want to grow in, don't just read to read. Read to put into action. Because here's the thing about having a plan, right? You have to set into motion a plan of action because listen, without action, you can write down all the goals, you can say all the things, but without action, it doesn't help you, right? You have to create the action. And so I have something that I like to call the SaaS roadmap, and I'm going to give it to you today. I usually teach it in my workshops, and I'm going to give it to you today because I know that with this roadmap, this has been the roadmap that I've used. This has been the roadmap that I've coached people on. This has been the roadmap that has allowed me to be as successful as I am thus far. And I know it's going to take me into my next phase because how many of you know that at every next level, you have to start all over again and get back to the basics. And this is what happens to a lot of people. They forget the basics. When you're getting ready to go into your next level, you have to get back to the basics. What are the basics that got you to climb the first mountain? Right? We forget the basics. Got to get back to the basics. So number one in the SaaS roadmap, right? The S is set your vision. The vision is the end goal. What is the vision? Write the vision and make it plain. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to earn $100,000? Do you want to release 50 pounds? Right? Whatever that is, right? Do you want to go closer to God? Do you want to build a community of 50 people? What is the vision? Set your vision. And I'm going to tell you this too. When you set your vision, why? Ask yourself, what is the why behind it? Because the why is what keeps you going. The thing that keeps me showing up when no one likes a video, the things that keeps me going when sometimes there is no clients in the business. The thing that keeps me going is my why. My why is that I want to change the very DNA fabric of my family. I want my kids to know that they can make a different choice and they can do or have anything they want. And how am I able to do that is by being the example. See, a lot of times we want our kids to do something. We want our kids to do it, but we don't understand that we can be the example. We want them to look at everybody else as the example. How about you set it? How about you go after your vision? How about you set a vision? How about you go after your dream? How about you do it? And don't give me age. Age doesn't matter when you have a vision, right? If you're a true believer, you'll know that your God can do it at any given point in time. Set the vision. What is your why behind doing? That is the thing that keeps me going. Because I'm not going to sit up here and I am never the one to be fake or phony. Okay. I will tell you that sometimes it is hard. It is hard when you have this goal and you set out and you know you have something that can help transform and develop people. And, it doesn't show up in the way that you think. That's hard. And what do you do when things get hard? Well, when things get hard for me, I remember my why and I keep going. I don't quit. Right? Because I don't believe that it's failing. I believe that I'm learning a very valuable lesson on what to do in the wait so I can teach you what to do in the wait, right? So the very S in the SaaS roadmap, set your vision. A, articulate your goals. The goals must be smart. If you want to know what SMART goals is, and I'm going to tell you, I have a book, an accountability workbook right now that's on Amazon. The link will be in my bio. And you can also get it on my website where it breaks down SMART goals and it helps you to track every single day what you're doing. If you do not track every day what you're doing, then you won't know why you're not where you need to be. 9 times out of 10 is because you are consistently being consistent with doing things that consistently don't have you in the place that you want to be. We are all consistent in doing something, right? And it's what that consistency is or is not is the reason why you are not achieving the goals that you desire. Okay. So The next S stands for strategize for massive action. You have to get into that. You have to do something every single day towards your goal, right? So I'll give you an example. Last year, because if you've been around, you know that I set my fiscal year in October the year prior. So I said that I set a fit goal for me because throughout menopause, I've gained a lot of weight. I gained well over 50 pounds, probably like 55 if I'm being real honest. Don't don't judge me, judge you make me. All right. So I set a goal that I wanted to get back to my weight of, I'm normally between 145 and 150. And so when I set goals in October, I usually start probably in November, December. The reason I do that is I don't wait for a new year to come in for me to start. A, I'm a leader. I go ahead of the pack. B, if you start generally in January, most people quit before the end of the quarter. It just is what it is. So I started that for me. And so when I got started, it was a roller coaster. However, I was consistent in my workout. I did a program, Sean T's program, Dig Deeper is what it called. It was a weightlifting program is what I did, and it was phenomenal. So I started it in December. I was consistently doing it every single day, and so where did that consistently land me? Plus my nutrition plan, plus I did other things with because I set myself up for success. I went to a bariatric center. Okay. I went to a doctor to help me. Okay. And I don't care how much medication you take. If you do not eat correctly and work out, it does not work out. Okay. So now I'm down to, I was almost 205 pounds. So now I'm down to 172 pounds as of today. Right. And so my goal is to be back to 150 pounds by the end of the year. And I gave myself enough time, but I had to get into massive action. What actions are you taking consistently for the clear vision that you set, right? And for your goals. So this is the SASO. Set your vision. What is the end goal? Articulate your goals. Next X, strategize for massive action. And last, but certainly not least, stay accountable and adjust. Who are you accountable to? Someone has to be holding you accountable. So everybody, I don't need help. Yes, you do. And here's the thing, because you may be killing it in one area, but not killing it in another. There are coaches out there who help people in their relationship, parenting, right? As well as, on your job. Some people go into work and they kill it, but not killing it in their homes. We need help. I had to get a coach for that too. Listen, I'll tell you all day and twice on Sunday, learning how to parent grown children is different. You have to do it differently. It's not the same. So you have to show up differently. And that's something that I had to work on, right? I had to work on that actually with a therapist, right? Because every level requires something different. And so, listen, if Oprah can have a therapist, I know I can. Don't judge me, right? People don't understand. It's so important to have these things in your life. Oprah's coach, she pays her coach $1 million a year. $1 million. You think Oprah Winfrey needs a coach? Absolutely. Oprah Winfrey, absolutely. We all do. We all have things in our lives that we get to work out, and we don't have to send that down to generations that are coming behind us, because a lot of times, here's the thing, we are passed down. We talk about generational curses. What about passing down generations of healing and generations of love and generations of saying, hey, listen, we all may have to go to therapy for something, and you don't have to go to therapy for the same thing I went to therapy for. Right. So that's one of the things of what's one of my whys. I wanted to send down to generations that are coming behind me and let them know you can be an author, you can be a speaker, you could be a coach, you could do anything. And the way to get there is I created a roadmap for y'all. How about that? Like, my roadmap is going to be forever inked for my family. I created that. Now, here's the thing. I want you to take it, run with it, and expand on it. Do it your way. I think this is so important. What do you want to leave behind? What do you want to leave to the generations that's coming behind you? What legacy do you want to leave? What is your why? And this all started for me. I'm going to tell you, there was an interview that I watched, and I will never forget this interview because I love watching podcasts. I was watching this interview, and the person interviewing asked a question. It was like, how will your great, great, great grandchildren and or family members know that you existed? And I was like, oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. Like, the people talk about the Harriet Tubmans of the world and the Malcolm X's of the world and the Martin Luther Kings of the world. And I'm sure they will talk about the Oprahs of the world. And you think that it has to only end with them? Absolutely not. Your family can talk about the things that you did too. What things are you going to bring to your generations that come behind you? And this is so important because we're in a generational stage right now where and I talk about this and I will always talk about it loud, is that we're in this era of of cutting people off, cutting family members off, and not talking to family, and everybody's toxic and everybody's this. And what you don't realize is you're breaking the chain, not in a healthy way, right? There is something to be said for family. There's something to be said for that. And you can be the one that could be the black sheep and can change things. And a part of that change is teaching how we can heal the chain without having to be like, oh, the way people talk about their parents today is like unreal. Like, it is really, it's unreal. And the sacrifices that these parents have made, and maybe they didn't do it perfectly. I know, Lord knows, you will hear me say all day and twice on Sunday, wasn't a perfect parent. Absolutely not. But social media has created monsters. And it's like, walk a mile in someone's shoes. Now, I want to be clear because I know I'm on the internet. I'm not talking about any parent that was abusive, any parent that walked out on you. That I'm not talking about those parents. I'm talking about the parents that were there every day, every single day, giving it their best. Because when you live long enough, you're going to know that life stay life. And with that, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to make some mistakes along the way. But what happened to being able to have conversation? Everybody's so sensitive. Gen X, we're hard. I get it. Gen X is hard. Gen X also was raised by some boomers. Okay. we were raised to be seen and not heard. We were raised hard. So and why am I telling you guys this? What's this conversation about? It's because I want you to understand that building your system of success and understanding the framework from which you came, right, is going to help you into understanding that you can be, do, or have anything you want. Setting that framework to set you up for success. When I think about those things, I understand why it's important to have a therapist, why it's important to have a coach, why it's important to have a community of people around you to love you. I'm going to tell you guys something. I just did a workshop recently for the Jersey City Public Library, and it was absolutely amazing. I've done speaking events before, but this was so different. And it was different because of the system that I have behind me. My community, my friends, I have a group that we talk every single Thursday at 7 a.m. Every single Thursday, we talk 7 a.m. on FaceTime without fail every week. And they were like cheering me on. They were letting me know Thursday morning, like, you're going to kill it. And they actually were praying for me. And even that night, Thursday evening before the event, I was on the phone with another brother. And listen, and the people who I was on the phone with Thursday evening are the people we're doing the May 18th event, the Velocity Mindset Summit, which is going to be awesome. Okay. We are going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio. And we were actually on the phone preparing for the summit. And so I'm talking to them. And before we got off the phone, my brother, Brent Miller, he says, let me pray. And he actually prayed for me for success for the event. But here's the thing that we were praying for. People got to understand this. They weren't praying for me. They were praying that something that God would give me to say would release something in the people that I was going to be speaking to. Having that level of community is different. It's different. That's why it's important. So when I'm talking about creating this success model, right? When I'm talking about following this roadmap and having this success blueprint is so important, because having people like that in your life, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for, and I know they were a part of it. Yes, it was what I did in the weight. Yes, it was me practicing, me personally developing, me having a coach, me having a therapist, me joining the communities to actually be able to be a part of groups like this, that actually helped me. But I'm telling you, following this roadmap is going to change the game. And so, what am I doing? So, Velocity Mindset Summit is going to be in Cincinnati, Ohio, on May 18th at the Cincinnati Bible Way Church. It is going to be phenomenal. I'm telling everybody right now, come as you are, and I promise you, you will not leave the same. Come as you are, and I promise you will not leave the same. I can't wait to see you. And I'm actually going to have the link put in this video so you can actually go out and register today. We're actually having a buy one, get one right now on the tickets. Don't know how long that's going to last. However, it is there. All right. And so back to what I was talking about. The reason why that was so important and it hit different is because I set this model up. And I come to talk to you about it because when we're looking at we are in our quarter 2 goals. When we're looking at quarter 2 and we're assessing, I want you to look at, do you have the roadmap? Have you set your vision? Have you articulated your goals clearly? Have you strategized for massive action? And do you have an accountability partner or where you need to adjust? Right. And so what are the things that help me along the roadmap? Right. My system of success. Do you have a coach that's holding you accountable? Do you have a therapist that's helping you to walk through those things that are deeper than just someone holding you accountable, deeper than goals, right? That may be holding you back. Maybe it is some things that have been passed down in your lineage that you need to work on that open you up, right? So that you can be able to receive, so you know that everything is not a scam and you can actually have great discernment. Okay. So do you have that? Do you have a community? If not, start researching community. There's some beautiful communities out there. I'm actually getting ready to start one myself. So there are beautiful communities out there. Are you a part of a community? I'm a part of 2 communities at the moment. Are you a part of communities? There's so many out there. That can help you along with your journey to becoming, excuse me, to becoming, because that's what this is. I hope you understand that the whole thing about the vision is you on a journey to becoming, right? If you desire to be a millionaire, the journey to becoming a millionaire, the journey to becoming a 6-figure entrepreneur, right? It's all about you on the journey of becoming. And on that journey of becoming, who are you helping along? But as you are helping, as you are learning, right, you are growing you. And so with that being said, I'm getting ready to hop off of here because I'm getting ready on this journey of life mastery. And life mastery is actually talking about the not just mastering your emotions, but also the health journey of eating healthy. And we're doing like a workout, we're doing yoga. And a part of that is being on like a detox. So I'm doing like a detox right now, which is testing my gangster. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It's testing my gangster. However, I'm not a quitter. We have to drink celery juice, and it's celery and it is juice. So I'm sticking to it because again, this is what I'm doing in the wait as I'm waiting for my business to grow. As I'm waiting, I'm doing. I want you to hear that I'm not just sitting around waiting for something to drop in my lap. I'm still getting into massive action. I'm still growing. I'm still showing up every single Sunday so we can all better our best. I'm still working on my fitness. I'm still working on my nutrition. I'm still working on my personal development, as far as, with the coaching program as well. So I'm super excited for where second quarter is headed. I want to hear from you though. Drop a note in the comments. Let me know how quarter one went for you. Let me know where you're going to pivot in quarter two. Let me know if you were successful. What were some of the things? Here's why I want you to do that. Sharing is caring. When you share in the comments, other people get to see what you've done. This is how we help everyone grow. My only goal for these videos is each one teach one. So again, drop in the comments. So let other people know what are some of the things that you are working on. What is your vision? What are some of your goals? You hear me talk about me, and I want to hear from you. I want to know what is that thing that you are working on. Maybe ask in the comments where you want or desire help, and other people can comment and give you help. Listen, caring and sharing. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, and I will talk to you next week.